On today's episode, we're talking about consults, the Titanic, scuba diving, Reddit,
and prenups.
Oh, you got to listen to how we tied this all together.
It's going to be really great.
This is the Lady Lawyer League podcast, Omaha's leading lady lawyers, empowering women to be legal savvy. Hosted by Susan Ruff and Tracy Hightower-Henney of Hightower Ruff Law.
I'm really excited about the podcast.
I know we're in this like really great space, and it's in our space, a great space in our space,
right?
Which is not in space.
No, but people are going to the moon now.
Okay, I have a question. I don't think they're going to land on the moon.
No, not this time. In a couple years, they're going to.
So, like, really, is it really that big of a deal?
Okay, so there's conspiracy theories that we've never been to the moon. How do you feel about that?
I do not buy into that conspiracy theory.
You buy into some?
I am open-minded that there might be some things I consider that might be considered a conspiracy theory.
Okay, let's stick with the moon though. But
okay.
We have been to the moon 53 years ago is the story, the history, right? Why haven't we been there since then?
Because we're too busy destroying our own planet.
No, like what?
I feel like it's because it's not been a priority, probably.
I don't know what I believe about this, but I do think it's really interesting. Like, if we did this really cool thing 53 years ago and our technology has only gotten better, why haven't we gone? And like, people made money off of it and people like pay to go there. That blows my mind, but it doesn't mean that I buy into that.
Well, and I also think the Challenger explosion that I watched live in 5th grade on the TV was probably a huge setback. And then people were focused on going to Mars. Remember, I mean, that's like been a huge thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I
posed this question to someone yesterday. Why haven't we been to the moon since then? And someone said, it's too expensive. And I was like, that's never stopped anyone. Right. Like with the people that went down to look for the Titanic, that didn't stop them. It was like $8 billion.
We should talk about that on a podcast too. Cause I listened to an amazing docu-series on that whole thing.
Ooh.
Every single person that got on that thing knew they were going to die.
Even the kid?
There was a kid?
Yeah, like the guy's son. He was like 18 maybe.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to die.
Well, I mean, my God, I didn't know any of this, but the docuseries made it like that thing was never going to make it. You've probably scuba dived deeper than that thing went.
Before it blew up?
Yeah.
How deep was it when it blew up?
I don't know.
More than 130 feet? That's how
that's how deep you go? Okay. I don't know.
How deep do you think I go when I scuba dive?
I don't know. To the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, geez. That's like 10,000 feet.
Depends on where you are probably though, right?
Oh, okay. So like in some places, if it's like 500 feet, Tracy goes.
I really have no idea. I don't know a lot about ocean depth scuba diving. So I'll leave that for you to talk about.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, the Titanic is 12,500 to 13,000 feet.
You don't go that deep?
Thank you, David. No, we do not go that deep.
Okay. Because you would explode.
Yes.
Even if you had oxygen?
Yeah, but there's not enough tank oxygen that takes you that deep.
What if you had like a little, like extra tanks?
You can't go that deep.
Okay.
No.
Okay, like, back to conspiracy theories. Or are we going to go back to like lawyer stuff?
Well,
the moon thing. Tell me, you said you asked somebody about it.
Well, yeah, and they said we haven't gone because it's too expensive. Oh. And then I said, that's never stopped anyone.
Right. I don't think, and I think like, we're lawyers and we're supposed to think logically. And something must not have really happened because we haven't done it again, to me is not logical.
Right.
That's how I can get out of that one.
But that's the point of conspiracy theories, is to sort of make you like think and wonder, and like I get to think anything I want to because it doesn't hurt anyone else if I believe. Again, I don't know what I believe, but I just think it's fun to ponder it.
Do you think a conspiracy theory is a negative thing? When someone says that's a conspiracy theory, in my mind immediately I think it's a negative thing.
Oh, no.
Or crazy. Like, do you think JFK actually got shot by the lone shooter?
I haven't put any thought into that one.
Okay. But a lot of people have, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I do think, yeah, it's like the idea that it's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
A conspiracy theory, like chemtrails and whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Chemtrails.
All right.
Let's write that down. Chemtrails.
Some podcast episodes. And also, if anyone wants to hear about scuba diving, we can do a scuba diving podcast.
And every conspiracy theory we've talked about so far, I do not believe in on the record.
Let me tell you, when I'm scuba diving, I constantly think about how scuba diving is connected to everyday life and like being in the courtroom and like the anxiety you have before you like go underwater. So we could totally do a podcast about scuba diving. I could bring a scuba friend because you clearly have no idea anything about scuba
I would
diving.
be a really bad participant in a scuba diving podcast. Can we do it? David, can we record underwater?
No.
Darn it.
Well, pause. There are scuba masks that have microphones in them that you can speak to each other.
Okay. So audio?
Yeah, so you have to get certified.
No, you're going to do it with your friend and then I'll be safely above the water watching out for sharks.
Got it.
Yeah. I did have a dream that there was a shark. I don't know if that has anything to do with you.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about Susan's vivid dreams on every podcast episode.
Oh, yeah. That one was bad.
Did someone get hurt?
No. We got away in time.
Oh, because you noticed the shark and you were able to warn people.
Yeah.
How did you warn them?
Well, other people noticed it too.
Oh, okay.
So we were not in deep water.
Yeah, usually you're not with a shark.
Yeah, we just ran up on the beach.
Okay. But we don't scuba dive to 10,000 feet below surface.
Okay. See, I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Cool. Not as deep as the Titanic.
No. Okay. So we want to talk about consultations and like myths and misconceptions that happen. And I think I normally see them in the consult, like the first time you're talking to the client and like hearing their story and you're like, where the hell are you getting this information?
Which is kind of like a conspiracy theory, right? It's like information floating around out there that they're like piecing together and then it becomes true to them.
Yeah, you're tying it all in, Susan.
Yep. I can tie it in. Wrap it up.
Tie it in and wrap it up. So I think when we talk about consultations, the first thing that I'll say, and then I'm going to end this with advice too, is everyone considering divorce, whether you are actually really thinking you might get divorced, or if you're ever just like, I wonder what it's like to get divorced because it's like starting to creep into your mind, I think you should do a consult with a divorce lawyer.
Right.
Like, don't go on Facebook and TikTok and try to find all this legal advice, which we talked about in our first episode.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get bad advice.
What do you think of the lawyers who are putting information on TikTok? Would that be a good place for somebody to kind of start their info gathering?
Only if you're watching Hightower Rough Law's TikTok. Right? I mean, I think that probably is an okay place to start your investigation, but it also comes down to like, is that lawyer in your state? Do they even know the judges in your district or in your county? And they haven't heard your set of facts. And I think that's the big difference.
Right. Because so much of the answer in the law is it depends. And in a consultation, you have the opportunity to talk to the attorney and say, here's my situation. Now, how does that fit?
Right.
So the it depends gets a lot more clear.
Right. And in our office, we spend a whole hour with our clients. It's not just a quick like, hey, I want a divorce with kids. Great. Here's how this works.
Right.
It's a tell me about your marriage. Tell me about your kids. What is your goal in your divorce? Because everyone's goals are very different.
Right.
And if someone wants to fight about custody and then a totally different person wants to talk about debts and assets and they're like, we're going to agree on custody, that hour is an entirely different conversation.
Right. It's shocking to me when I talk to people who either come to us after having a consultation with a different attorney or just people I meet that tell me about their divorce experience, how very little information those attorneys give them at the outset.
Yes.
And it's more of the attorney's running the show of the consult or the initial meeting or whatever they're calling it, and then just assuming that person's going to hire them. And that is not our approach at all.
Right. I constantly will tell people, I want you to leave this consult with most of your questions answered that you didn't even have to ask, right?
Right.
Usually a good prepared client is coming with a list of questions probably given to them by ChatGPT, which is fine.
Or our office, because we give them a lot of paperwork to fill out before the consult.
Yeah. And I think that's great to be prepared for the consult and have come with some questions. And, you know, I also will tell people in a consult, we're never going to get through everything in an hour.
No.
So what is the most important thing for you to leave here knowing after this first hour? And when we mentor our younger lawyers too, I often will say our clients aren't memorizing everything that we've told them. It's often a feeling of like, do I think this is the right fit?
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of times at the consultation stage, people are nervous. They're nervous to even face the reality of a divorce or separation. And talking to a lawyer makes it very, very real. And so some of the things we might tell them, they might forget, even though they're important things in the case. So something I do a lot is repeat myself to clients.
Yes.
And just to try to help continuously educate them. But it seems that there are a lot of things that people bring into the consult that are assumptions about what's going to happen with their case. Like we said, those myths or conspiracy theory things.
Yeah. What are some of the misconceptions?
I think one of the big ones is that a mom or someone who doesn't have as maybe a demanding of a job is going to get custody. And it's the mom usually, right?
Yeah.
And even typically if the mom has been what, we would call the primary parent, picks the kids up from school, makes sure they get to soccer practice, packs their lunch, schedules the doctor's appointments, that the way the courts look at it is very different, but people have the preconception that means that person's going to have full custody.
Right. And we know it doesn't.
Right. And a judge very clearly said to me one time, just because you, mom, have done that in the past doesn't mean that dad is not capable.
Right.
And it generally, parenting duties kind of fall into one parent's lap or the other in some situations. So that doesn't mean it's going to be the same.
Right.
Divorce is going to be a big change in someone's life, including who's going to be doing those things for the kids.
How about the myth that my spouse cheated, so I'm going to win everything?
That's a big one. That is a big one. Yeah, they were unfaithful, so I'm going to get the house
Or I want you to do everything to make them punished.
Yeah. While it feels like punishment, right? Divorce, I think for most people feels like punishment. It isn't. The law does not punish people that are bad actors in a divorce.
In Nebraska, we are a no-fault state, which means the purpose of the divorce is totally irrelevant. So judges often don't even want to hear about an affair or cheating in any way, emotional affairs, whatnot.
Yeah. Talking to other, people or whatever online. They don't care.
And sometimes it's relevant for, misuse of funds or something like that, but we often will not bring it up. And you just have to tell your client at the beginning when judge doesn't care about it.
Right. It just because someone is doing things outside the marriage that you don't like, the judge is not going to care. The judge is really there to divide assets and debts and help, create a parenting plan, a schedule for the kids.
Okay, here's one that I know that you are actually really well versed on lately. You know what I'm going to say. Okay, it's my spouse can't touch my money because I earned it. Not if you have a prenup.
Oh, the prenup.
Susan's like a prenuptial expert right now. She's got a ton of these cases.
Yeah. Yeah. And funny fact, as an attorney, I've never drafted a prenup because we have other attorneys here that have that draft them that are really good at drafting them.
And we'll do an episode about prenuptial agreements.
Yeah. But I've defended several prenups and but the idea, if someone doesn't have a prenup and they're like, you can't, it's my money, I earned it, that's a total myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
During the marriage, anything gained, could be equitably split. There's the it depends situations, but you can't assume it's just going to be your money.
What does it mean to defend a prenup? Tell us.
So the other party, it's the person who is standing to lose the most money because the money is going to one party versus being split. Because
So we have a marriage, they have a prenup, and then now they're getting a divorce. And
Right.
so someone's arguing that the prenup is invalid
yes,
because that they want to split half the money. And then the other person's saying, nope, it's totally valid.
right,
And so then you're going back and like saying, did I even know what I signed 25 years ago?
yeah.
Or what are some of the other reasons you would defend against a prenup?
The one case I had was I didn't understand what I was signing. So it's an unconscionable contract, basically. Like there was fraud and duress at the time of signing. That's the one that is pretty true on a lot of contracts. People would argue that, like, I didn't know what I was signing and I didn't have good advice or whatever, which is an uphill battle for that person to prove. But the other situation that came up is that it was so unconscionable, the amount of money that a person was going to get, that it would invalidate the prenup, which they lost. So, because that's what a prenup is for.
Right. Yeah. It's limiting what one person's getting based on what the parties are bringing to a marriage.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you have a prenup, call us.
Also, spoiler alert to our prenup episode, but
Total spoilers.
if you sign a prenup like right before you walk down the aisle, probably could be not valid.
Right.
That is considered potentially under duress.
Right. Right.
Like if you don't sign it, you better not walk down the aisle in 10 minutes.
Right.
So,
get a lawyer, right? If you need a prenup.
okay, last one. Let's talk about my favorite misconception in a
Okay.
consult. My spouse or I can hide assets.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know why that's my favorite?
No.
Because I'm like, no one can hide anything.
Well, and usually I feel like that comes from the person that isn't really the money manager of the family. So they don't really know.
Right.
And then they just assume.
Yeah. And we'll have the potential client say to us, my spouse is hiding everything. You're never going to be able to find it. And I'm like, ha ha. Yes, I will.
And I think they don't understand that the power that once the case is filed, that we have to discover financial assets.
Yes.
So, I mean, have you had a case, do you think, where the person was trying to hide the money?
Yes. Right now I have one.
And you were able to find it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so that's my favorite because I love doing that. And people are like, oh, we need to do like forensic accounting. And I'm like, no, you don't. I'm going to do it. So I have a case right now where we just subpoenaed 8 years of bank statements.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of
And
years.
There's a lot of tracing we're sort of doing to kind of follow some money.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden on page like 570, there was this check from another account. And I literally in my office all by myself was like, bingo, found it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I get to subpoena another bank because we didn't even know this
Oh.
person
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a bank at another bank. And I'm like, people can rarely really actually hide unless they're dealing solely in cash,
Yeah.
which I think if people have like major gambling things, you sort of can do that. And there's like piles of cash around the house.
But even then, because if you're winning at a casino, you're going to get the form for the IRS.
Right.
So even if you can't find the cash, you're going to, I don't know what, is it a 1099?
Yeah.
You're going to get that.
Also, spoiler alert, Susan knows nothing about IRS stuff.
No, but I am willing to learn. And I did have that case where the guy was like, he was a 1099 employee and, did various, he was like doing deliveries but he always had a lot of cash. And on paper with his job, he didn't make that much money. But then she found all the casino documents that they give
Yeah.
you when you win I think it's like if you win over a certain amount, and it's not a very large amount.
Right.
And then when there's 20 of them,
Right.
it really adds up.
Well, and it shows up on your tax return too.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the people dealing in all cash that aren't doing it maybe at a casino, like through a bookie or cash under the table. Or
Yeah. They're gambling
like that.
They're gambling
Yeah.
in the back of the bar, in the smoky, like the movies.
Yeah.
Does that really
Like the
happen that much?
cigar bars.
I don't know. I feel like if people are doing that, maybe the cash is the least of their problems.
Yeah. So that's my favorite one. And I love when someone says that in the consult, like, well, my spouse is he's been hiding money our whole marriage. And I'm like, no, he hasn't. You just haven't had a lawyer ready to find it yet.
So what is the other attorney saying when you're like, I found it?
This other person's pro se, so there isn't an attorney on this case.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do think when there is another attorney on a case like that, they're like, I didn't know. And a good lawyer on the other side isn't personally invested, so
Right.
they don't really care. We know that obviously isn't true. There's a lot of lawyers in town that are like, for some reason, are super personally invested in their clients' cases and then take things personal. And you're like, just telling you what I found.
And that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so while we talk about consults, we hit on this a little bit in our comeback episode, but internet advice as opposed to a consult.
You can get information on the internet, right? It might be right. It might be wrong. It might be just where someone starts. But I would say if you really are ready to start a case, you need an attorney because the internet isn't going to tell you the black and white of how to work your case. And a lot of people will not be able to navigate the court system on their own either. So even just having someone having that consult to say, here's the process and here's how we as attorneys can step in and help you through the process, even if you know a lot about it because you've learned a lot about it from wherever, we still can help make the process smoother and easier. Because it's a hard process no matter what. There's a lot of emotion. So if you can have someone kind of help you through it, I think that makes it that much less stressful.
Okay, here's a question because I think you are a Reddit person, aren't you?
I do like Reddit.
I've never really gotten into it.
So next time you're going to Google something just to like learn information, and like with traveling sometimes I've used it. Because you taught me about off the beaten path, which I think has kind of gotten diluted now, but it's like, what are the fun things to do? So actually, Lydia, our receptionist, was like, I always put in Reddit. So like you just type your search and then hit Reddit and it gives you, and then you can look at things that are very current, which is what I like. I don't know. And just read what people say. And some Reddits have links to.
So people are giving legal advice also on Reddit.
I have heard that. Now, I have not looked into it, but like I was looking for real reviews on hotels.
How do you know they're real though?
I feel like they're better than just looking at the Google with the website with the stars.
Oh.
I don't know. Or
It's also about the fact that like people are submitting their own feedback. It's like users out there. It's like real people who are really experiencing that.
so like Embassy Suites can't go on there and create a Reddit about how great they are. Oh, we'll see there, David.
So that's crazy and scary for legal advice because people are submitting this is what happened in my divorce.
Hey, David, put in Hightower Ref Law Reddit.
Ooh, let's see what happened.
Because we have had consults
we get referred on Reddit.
say they were referred to us on Reddit. Oh, see, there's one that says, I recommend Hightower Ref Law.
Yeah, this person said, oh, you need a lawyer. Hightower Ref Law is great. And then which law firm does Taylor Swift use? Okay.
Well, the last I knew, she wasn't married to get divorced, but maybe she needs a prenup.
Yeah.
Ooh, why should Taylor Swift get a prenup?
Another episode.
Yeah. I bet they're going to have a really, really in-depth prenup.
Is she pregnant?
What?
I thought she was pregnant. She's not pregnant.
They're engaged, but
there was some rumor that started before they got engaged that she was pregnant.
Oh.
And then I was like, is she pregnant? So I don't think she actually is.
huh. Is Taylor Swift right? I don't know. We could.
Are you a Swiftie?
No. I like her music, but I'm not a Swift.
Have you been to one of her concerts?
No.
Yeah. I feel like that makes you a Swiftie, right? If you've gone to a concert?
I think it's more than that.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is not pregnant. See?
According
there
to-
were rumors circulating.
According to Jenna, what is it on Google? Genesis. But
There's no evidence. There's been no pregnancy tests that have surfaced. False sources.
Because people often just are like, here's my pregnancy test.
Right. Yeah.
Well, people do put everything private on the internet. Not Taylor Swift, though. She's really good about that. So,
Okay. So someone considering divorce, like what's our advice to them? Just thinking about divorce.
number one, I would say learn about the process from someone who can give you real life advice, like an attorney. I think it's okay to talk to your friends and family or people you know that have gone through divorce, but know that your case isn't going to be like theirs. But I think it's good to have emotional support, whether it's professional or personal, because divorce is a really emotional process and the lawyers can help with that in a certain way, but you shouldn't rely on your lawyer for your emotional support.
Right.
So, there's two components, like have the people there that are going to support you and then have the person there that's going to guide you through the process.
Right. And if you don't have family or friends that will support you, then get a therapist.
Yeah.
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 Or both, whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of therapists in Omaha that like specialize in either couples going through divorce or especially women. I feel like there's a lot of therapists that do that.
Right. I mean, I think my number one advice, like I said in the beginning, is just do a consult with a lawyer. It's confidential. We can't tell anyone that you've met with us.
Right.
If you need to pay in cash because you don't want your spouse to see it on your credit card bill or a check written to our office, then do that, or have someone else, cover the fee for the consult just so you can get really good advice.
Right.
And then I will even go so far as to say, do a consult with 2 different lawyers. I want you to feel comfortable with the lawyer that you hire. And we know we're not the right lawyer for everyone. And Joe Schmo down the hall at a different law firm isn't the right lawyer for everyone either. So I go so far as to say, do a consult with 2 lawyers, because then if you hire me, then I know, you've seen a different kind of lawyer.
Right.
And you're going to feel comfortable knowing there was a different type of personality that you could have hired. And, ask the tough questions.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask those questions. And then you should feel a certain way when you leave that consult. You should feel heard. Again, you're not going to have all of your questions answered. You're not going to leave there with a plan of exactly what's going to happen in your divorce over potentially
or predictions or
yeah.
Yeah.
And if a lawyer gives you a bunch of guarantees, like you should really question that.
Right.
We can't guarantee anything. And so that's my advice is anyone considering a divorce, like I said, even if you're like, I don't really think I'm going to file for divorce. Maybe you don't think you're ever going to file for divorce because you're so afraid of what it looks like to divorce.
Right.
Well, go get information and see if that fear is actually legit.
And we often do consults with people who do not end up hiring us. And then we hear from them, 6 months, 2 years down the road. And then they're ready. But they had the information that they could think through, process, like you said, for when the time is right.
Okay. So consults are
always a good idea.
Always a good idea. Meet with a lawyer who knows about family law.
Yeah, that's another big one is I think making sure the attorney is experienced in family law, not just the attorney you use to buy your house or, settle a car accident.
Yeah. And we will dive into some of these topics that we touched on today a lot deeper in future episodes. So if you want to hear about prenups, scuba diving and how it relates to divorce practice, probably nothing more on the Titanic.
Susan's crazy thoughts about conspiracy theories.
We will hear about Susan's vivid dreams on future episodes. And, check out our podcast. Go back and listen to some of our old episodes. We had some really great episodes back then. And we have a lot of great stuff planned coming up. So subscribe, and
follow.
Oh, yeah. Susan's good at that. Also, check us out.
Like, and follow.
Yeah. Check us out on our website, hrlawomaha.com. We have a pretty amazing Facebook page, too, and our Instagram where you can see a lot of things that we do on the community side with our law firm. We're pretty proud of what we do for our legal community and for our underserved communities in our Omaha area. So check us all out and let us know if you have specific questions that you want us to talk about or answer on the future episodes. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Lawyer League podcast, and be sure to like and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. If you would like to learn more about our firm, Hightower Ref Law, please visit our website at hrlawomaha.com.